So let's begin our practice by coming onto all fours. So wrists underneath your shoulders and knees underneath your hips. And as you inhale, gaze forward. And as you exhale, tuck your chin in, tuck the toes and push your hips high back to downward facing dog. If your hamstrings are really tight this morning, just keep the knees super bent throughout these little vinyasas. Inhale, the knees come down. And exhale, chin in, tuck the toes, hips high. And we'll do this 3 more times. So the theme of the practice is the number 5. Inhale, come down, knees, gazes forward. And as you exhale, chin in, tuck the tummy in, hips high as you move back. Let's do it 1 more time. Inhale, knees come down. And exhale, hips move back into your downward dog. Hips high here, knees as bent as they need to be, and we'll stay for 5 breaths. And see now if you can start to connect to this 1-to-1 breathing ratio. So perhaps even breathing in for 5 counts and out for 5 counts. Just a few more breaths here. Never forcing pranayama or the breath work. If 5 feels like too much, just go to whatever your capacity is today. After your next exhale, bend your knees even more deeply. Look between your hands and step to the place between your hands. Feet roughly hip distance apart. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, folding over your legs. As you inhale, bring the hands to the hips and lead your chest first to come up to standing. So instead of leading with the head and the intellect, we start to lead with the heart and the chest, being more present, moment aware. Hands rest down by the side of the body and just take a few adjusting breaths. You may even wish to close your eyes in this moment to cultivate that present moment awareness. And as much as you can, try and cultivate the 1-to-1 breath ratio, whatever your breathing capacity is like today. We're going to move through a few sun salutations. So move to your level. If you need to take the variation, please do. Don't feel like it's a lesser version. Just go with what your body needs today. Inhale, arms rise. Gently looking up. Exhale, chin in, hands wide. Start to fold all the way down. Chin tucked in so we keep the spine long. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, step back into plank pose. Wrists should be underneath your shoulders and your heels should be pushing back. I'm stalling a little bit, and if you struggle in plank, we're saying just a couple more breaths to this first one. Really getting the alignment and the architecture right in this pose. So really feel your navel pulling in towards the spine. Take another inhale. As you exhale, lower the knees, then the chest, squeeze the elbows in, and then the chin, and untuck the toes. Inhale, come up into a small cobra, squeezing the elbows in, pardon me, the tops of the feet pushing down into the mat. And as you exhale, tuck the chin in, tuck the toes, push back through tabletop to your dog pose. Stay just a few breaths. Pardon me, sorry. Next exhale, Bend the knees, look between the hands, and start to walk your feet between your hands. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, fold forward over the legs. Hands to hips, keep the chin tucked in as you inhale to come up, leading with the chest. Arms come up to finish the movement, and the hands come down through prayer pose. Hands relax by the side of the body in Tadasana, the front of your mat. Next round, inhale, arms come up. Exhale, chin in, arms wide, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step back into your plank. Now you have options here. The first version, if that felt good for your body, you do that. Or if you know the movement of Chaturanga, you move with me on our next exhale. So take an inhale here and start to lower yourself down. Squeezing the elbows in. If you're with me, we move into up dog. If you're on the mat, you go into low cobra. None better or worse, just moving where you're at this morning. Exhale, tuck the chin in, tuck the toes, push back to your downward facing dog. A couple of breaths here. And these are the moments where you can start to recalibrate your breath. So once upon a time, you may have felt like your down dog was challenging, and then other times it feels like the downward dog is the resting pose. So try and treat it like that. Next exhale, bend the knees, look between your hands, step forward, flat back, inhale. Exhaling, folding forward over the legs, chin in. Hands come to your hips, and as you inhale, come all the way up to standing, the arms sweeping up on inhale. And exhale, hands come through prayer pose, the heart center, releasing the hands by the side. One more round. Inhale, arms come up. Maybe a little bit faster. Exhale, chin in, arms wide, sweeping into your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Take an inhale. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or small cobra. Exhale, dog pose. Let your knees come down. Inhale, sit back onto your heels for just a moment. Let the eyes close down. Notice where your breath is right now in this moment. And throughout this practice, we're going to do a little bit of pranayama. If you have done Kapalabhati before, we're going to use this technique a couple of times throughout the practice. If you haven't, please just follow along, and basically we'll inhale and then we do short little exhales through the nose, like we're trying to blow out a candle with your nostrils. So think of it like that, and it's this pull of that navel going to the back body. You may even like to place your hand on your abdomen to feel that sensation of the navel, the abdomen moving in. So what we'll do is 3 rounds of Kapalabhati, and we'll do it for 20 short little breaths. And when we get to the last breath, we breathe all the air out, and then we'll just return to normal breathing for like 1 or 2 adjusting breaths before we begin the next round. It'll make a little bit more sense as we get into it. Let's take an inhale together. And now begin. Exhale all the air out. And then a normal breath in and out. Let's take another ordinary breath in and out. Equal breath in and equal breath out. Let's begin our next round. Inhale in together and begin. All the air expels out. Normal breath in and normal exhale. Normal breath in through both nostrils and exhaling through both nostrils. Our last round. Inhale. Begin. All the air out, empty the lungs completely, and then inhale in. More breath, feeling complete to come into the lungs, and exhaling. Letting the body, the mind, and the breath start to balance, start to feel that purification going on in the abdominal center. Just in this short moment, we're not even that far into practice, and you may already be feeling those lovely effects. Let's come back into downward facing dog. Hips high, hands pushing firmly into the mat, sit bones and hips reaching towards the ceiling. Look between your hands and step up to that place between your hands. Fold over the legs, chin in. Feet hip distance apart. If your hands aren't completely all the way down, that's also okay. You're welcome to use your blocks at any time that you need. If you need a reminder of hip distance, we can use our fist here in this forward fold. So bringing your fist together, and the distance of both of your fists should fit between your feet, and that should roughly be your hip distance. Now just release the hands by the side of the body. Drop the hips down as we come into chair pose. Arms reaching up, and as you exhale, keep the hips low and just fold forward over your bent knees. We do this 4 more times. Inhale, arms come up. Trying to use your 1-to-1 breath ratio, maybe 5 counts up and 5 counts down. Exhaling forward. 3 more. Inhale, arms come up, hips low, not below your knees, but so you're using your core. Exhaling, folding forward. 2 more. And exhale. Stay with me. Inhale 1 more time. Next exhale, fold forward, straighten the legs. This should feel really good. Stay in the forward fold, please, and interlace your fingers at your low back. If you struggle with the interlace, you can skip this part of using your hands, and you can just keep them resting on the floor. If you're with me, please start to bring the hands off the low back, squeezing the palms even more firmly together and reaching them off the low back. Chin in, 1-to-1 breathing. Lower your hands to your low back. Keep the hands interlaced if they're there. We're going to do that same chair pose sequence. We'll only do it 3 times this time, but with the hands staying where they are. So drop the hips, inhale, come up, hands interlaced. Exhale, folding forward, keeping the knees bent here, maybe reaching the arms off the low back. Inhale, come up into your chair, opening the chest, the collarbones wide when you come up. Exhale, folding forward. One more time, inhale. And exhale, fold forward, straighten the legs. Let the hands release. Let the hands actually start to slide down the backs of the legs, connecting with all the nerve endings, with fingertips and the palms. See the level of openness in your body. Whatever you are on the scale of openness today is absolutely perfect. Bring the hands down to the mat. Step back into a plank pose. Take an inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin as we move through that little vinyasa. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, navel in as we move back to dog. Right knee forward for pigeon. Untuck the back toes. If you need props underneath your right hip, please go ahead. But actually, let's start to walk the hands back towards the hips. So it's more like we're moving out of our kidneys and our low back. We're not kind of collapsing into that right hip. We're trying to move upwards. And while we're here, if you feel safe in your knee joint, start to flex that left knee. Just notice what that feels like. Inhale, bring it down. 1-to-1 breathing. Exhale, bring it up. Inhale, bring it down. And exhale, bring it up. Stay here. Start to walk your hands over to the left side of your mat. And if your flexion and level of tension in the body is too much today to even try to go for the bind, please just try and go for the twist here. So open your left arm open to the left, getting a beautiful opening to left shoulder, left chest. Maybe your arm is long enough to reach your leg. I think my body ratio is a longer torso and shorter legs, and that's my excuse for being able to reach today. So just wherever you're at, don't feel like you need to go for the twist. If you're there, start to kick that left leg back. It's opening the left chest, twisting, purifying. Release left hand, left foot comes down, and now we come into that beautiful surrender of folding forward over the right knee. Even when pigeon is challenging, I still think it's one of the most indulgent kind of poses to come into, particularly in the middle of a more heated flow. Helps us to reset, to allow our nervous system to not get overtaxed. Breath engaged, and awareness of your breath and the link to the mind engaged, allowing you to be in the present moment. Awareness. Start to walk your hands back in. Readjust to the other side through down dog. Step the right foot back, however you get there. Hips high. Just allow the legs to both be straight for a moment. You may even like your three-legged dog here to release the right leg, the dog split. But for now, I'll just stay in down dog. Left knee forward, pigeon. And tuck the back toes, and what you may be finding is that this side may be completely different to your right side. So please just take it as it is. Start to walk the hands back towards your hips, like on your fingertips, maybe even on blocks here. Again, like we're trying to lift out of the low back, opening the kidneys, opening the chest. Now let's begin that movement of flexion in the right leg if you're with me. 3 times. Inhale, it comes down. And exhale, it comes up. This is just a nice little way to engage in that leg, even if you don't go into the holding at the end or the twist. Just notice what it feels like in the right psoas muscle, or the front of the right thigh near the groin. Holding this time. Start to walk your hands to the right side of your mat. Either reaching back with right arm, just going for the twist, and maybe you go for the hold as well. Like I said, please do not make this your ego practice, but just where you are today. And maybe you never get to touching your foot, and just realizing that that is also okay, because your body is made for you. We need to just be grateful for the body that we're given. Take one more breath here. I'm going to find a little more openness with each exhale. Then come back to center, and we go for the forward fold. Juicy hip opener. We're also getting that lovely grounding energy of having the head folding forward. Even if you're unable to fold completely over the front knee, just try and allow your head and neck to completely relax down. And maybe even do a little bit of a shake of the head just to see whether you're holding any tension anywhere. To have the intention to let that go. There's no beneficial use for that contraction in this moment. Start to walk your hands in towards you. Push back to downward facing dog. Just stay one more breath. Inhale, the knees come down. Exhale, just pause and realize where you are in this moment, physically, mentally, emotionally. Start to come all the way down onto your belly. Hands resting next to your chest as we prepare for a cobra variation. We do 2 different cobra variations, which may end up for you, if you're there today, going into a bow pose. But we'll get there together when we get there. So hands for now, resting next to your chest. Tops of the feet stay down. And we do 5 rounds of inhaling to come up, squeezing the elbows in, chest as high as you can get it, using the lower back strength, Release the glutes contracting if they are. Exhale, fold all the way down. Forehead coming down. 4 more times. And try and keep this with your 5 count breath, or whatever breath you're using today. Moving with your own rhythm. Inhale will bring you up, and the exhale will bring you down. We have 3 more rounds. If you're moving a little bit faster, maybe you have a few more. If you're moving a little slower, maybe you just have another round to go. For the rest of us, it's 2 more rounds. Inhaling to come up, and exhale to go down. Inhale, come up. This time we hold just for 5 breaths. Squeeze the elbows in with each inhale. Try and reach up a little higher, using the back strength. Inhaling just a little higher, squeezing elbows in a little more, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, tops of the feet pushing into the mat. 1 more breath. And exhale, fold all the way down. Let your right cheek come to the mat. Let the hands relax next to the side of the body. Bring your hands back to the side of the chest. If you cannot access this next pose or it doesn't feel right in your body, you just stay with the cobra variation. So from here, keeping the hands where they are initially, just bend the knees. Keep your forehead down towards the mat. And as you inhale, lift the chest up. See if you can kick up with the heels. Exhale, come all the way down. If that feels good for you right now, stay there. Otherwise, you may wish to join me by trying to hold on to your feet or your ankles. So as we come up, inhaling, kicking the feet higher, lifting the chest up, and exhaling, letting the forehead come down. 3 more times. Inhale, come up. And exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. And exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. And exhale, come all the way down, releasing the legs, turning your left cheek onto the mat. Taking rest. Bring your hands next to the sides of your chest. And do not worry, we're not doing another variation of that. Push back or forwards. Keep moving back, hips to heels. This little chakra of a cross and a flow. Inhale, come up to fours. Hands maybe just a little further in front of your shoulders. Gaze forward and exhale. Navel in, hips back. Lovely, gentle movement for the spine, integrating all parts of the spine. Inhale, come up. We'll just do this 3 more times. Exhale, chin in, hips back. Inhale, come up. And exhale, chin in, hips back. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale. Resting back in your child's pose, hips back. Keep your arms extended out in front of you, but Now please start to walk your hands over to the left so we get this beautiful right torso stretch. It should feel really lovely. The right hip is sinking towards the right heel a little more. Getting in between all the cartilage in between your rib tissue. Trying to breathe more fully into the right side. Start to walk your hands back through center and all the way over to the left. Oh, sorry, to walk the hands to the right, but we're stretching the left side of the body. You may wish to be on fingertips or let the arms completely rest down, wherever your body is today. Present moment awareness. Noticing the asymmetries in the body and honoring them. Start to walk your hands back to center. Walk your hands all the way in. Come to sit up onto your heels. And we do this Kapalabhati technique. So hands resting, palms face down on your thighs, eyes closed down if you're comfortable doing so. We do 3 rounds of 20 short little breaths with a couple of adjusting breaths in between. So let's begin. Inhale and go. Adjusting breath. Inhale together, preparing for the next round. Begin. All the air out, 1 adjusting breath. And exhaling, normal breath through both nostrils. Inhale, prepare for your last round. And begin. All the air out, and adjusting breath now. And exhale. Just in this moment, acknowledge where you are. If anything shifted from roughly 40 minutes ago, and please now come to lie on your back. Keep the feet hip distance, or knees bent here, palms face down to begin with. And just allow yourself to settle onto your back. Notice what the low back feels like. It should feel quite nice to just come and lay down. Without using your hands, just bend your knees in towards you, in towards your chest. Palms resting face down next to the hips. As you inhale, lift the heels towards the ceiling, and at the same time, lift the arms up and over the head, feeling as though you want to draw the tailbone closer towards the mat. And as you exhale, hands come down and the knees return to that bent shape. Let's do it 4 more times. Inhale, equal breath in, and exhale, equal breath out. Bend the knees, hands come down. 3 more times. Inhaling And exhaling. Two more. Inhale. Fluent breath, no strain. Exhale, knees bend, the hands come down. Next time that the legs go up, keep them up and keep the arms up overhead as well. We stay here for 5 breaths. See if you can push the soles of the feet higher towards the ceiling and allow the tailbone to drop a little more. Even if the legs are beginning to shake a little, that's okay. It's challenging your core, the focus of the practice, purifying and strengthening, all in this navel center. One more breath. Exhale, hug the knees in towards you. Just maybe even rock a little bit. See if that feels nice for the low back, the middle back, the upper back. Let the arms come out to the side to a T position, keeping the knees bent. Take an inhale. As you exhale, let the knees drop to the left. Maybe your gaze goes to the right. Inhale, bring the knees back to center. Exhale, knees go right, and perhaps your gaze goes left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, knees left, gaze right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, knees right, gaze left. Inhale. Exhale, knees left. Inhale. Exhale, knees right. One more time each side. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, knees go to the left. And just stay here for 5 breaths. The theme of 5. 5 steady breaths. Feeling this beautiful twist. Releasing the spine after all the strengthening and the rest of the practice. Your next inhale, come back to center. Knees go to the right. And we stay for 5 breaths. Feeling the assimilative qualities of twisting, of working with the fire in the navel center. Come back to center on inhale. Hold onto your knees again. One last big squeeze in. If you feel like you need to do a couple of adjusting dynamic bridge poses, you can. So just allowing the feet to come down to the mat without moving the hands. Just gently allow the hips to move up on inhale, not your biggest bridge, and the hips come down on exhale. And just do this 4 more times. If you're ready for your Shavasana, you're most welcome to move into that as well. If you're feeling that your body needs just that little bit more gentle transition into your Shavasana, just with me for 3 more rounds. Breath is steady still. Relax all the way down. Please find your way into your Shavasana pose. Take a couple of adjusting breaths in your Shavasana. Just allow the body to transition from its physical state into now this very restful state, not needing to be anywhere and not needing to do anything in this moment. And then softly allow the adjusting breaths to start to ease and allow your breath to become involuntary. No need to control the breath in this moment, just allowing your body to breathe. And with just a gentle trace of awareness still of the breath, without controlling it, start to notice, sense, or feel on the inhale, light moving in towards the body and starting to rest at the navel center. And as you exhale, this light ignites a little flame in the abdominal center and moves the light out towards all the cells of the body. With each inhale in, drawing in the cumulative light of the universe, all the galaxies, and any light, positive light that you're aware of, moving in towards you and resting in the navel center, whole abdomen full with this light. And as you exhale, feeling as though it moves and is distributed to all cells of the body and perhaps even beyond the body. Continue with this technique for the next few moments. No effort in breath and no tension in the face, no need for concentration. Just feel, sense, or experience the body being in its own light. If you've noticed the breath get really subtle and quiet, it's a direct reflection of your mind, and allow the technique to not be needed anymore, just to experience the body resting in a pool of light. Present moment awareness. without moving the body. Start to just become aware of sensations in the body again. Familiar sensations of you resting on your mat, clothes against your skin. And now just cultivate breath awareness again. Coaxing the breath to move down and reach all the way to the fingertips and the toes. And when you feel this in your body, you may wish to bring small movement to those areas. Start to allow the body to prepare for a short amount of pranayama, as we already did a fair bit in our asana practice, and then a meditation. So roll yourself to either side. And when you feel ready, please come to make your way to your comfortable seat. If you're sitting in a chair or against the wall, please make sure that your low back is the main thing that's in contact with that surface, making sure that your shoulder blades and your head and your neck are not resting on the objects. Trying to keep the spinal column strong and tall. And as you find your seat, start to remember the practice you have just transitioned from. One-to-one breathing, interwoven moments of a purifying breath. So we don't need as much pranayama before this meditation. So let's just focus on the breath awareness in the abdomen, moving out on inhale and in on exhale. Engaging with your Ujjayi breath softly to yourself so it feels more like a vibration or a sensation at the nasopharynx, or the passage at the back of your nostrils, the sinuses. Feel it moving along there on inhale and exhale. And find your rhythm. It feels comfortable to breathe in and out for the same length. Abdominal awareness and breath awareness. And what you may begin to notice is that as the mind gets more still, the breath becomes more subtle, and vice versa. As we start to calm our breath, our mind feels more focused and less distracted. Both a direct reflection of each other and a reflection of your internal state. As you continue with your one-to-one breathing, start to bring a different level of insight into our breath awareness. starting to transition into our meditation. As you feel the sensation of breath moving in through nostrils, meeting at the point of the sinus passages and the throat. Feel it move all the way down into the abdominal center. As you exhale, feel as though all the breath that you've brought into that area expands into pure light, radiating from the abdomen to all the cells of the body. Continue breath awareness and navel awareness. Inhale, brings in all the light, descending into the abdomen. A collection of light is then expelled to the rest of your cells in the body, and perhaps even beyond the boundary of the body. It's natural for the mind to get distracted and to be pulled out of this awareness. So if this happens for you, just acknowledge it and come back to the simple breath awareness of just noticing the abdomen moving out on inhale and the abdomen slightly contracting on exhale. Please also be aware that the breath is now effortless. You're sitting tall. The breath is moving in and out, but it shouldn't feel challenging. It should feel an effortless breath, no contraction in the face, neck, shoulders, hips. And the technique now becomes effortless. Resting again in your unique light, your own pool of light. Ever so gently allow present moment awareness to be more dominant. Allow breath awareness to come back. And by all means, if you wish to continue in your own meditation, you're welcome to do that. Let's take a few more breaths here. Just allowing yourself to transition from practice, preparing yourself to come to that next part of your day, not feeling as though you need to rush. Next exhale, allow the chin to lower towards your chest. Bring your hands to heart center. And even bring the hands in prayer to lower slightly down towards the abdomen to honor this beautiful and unique light in our abdomen. The source of courage and confidence, moving out of stagnation, coming into our own light. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste.
Namaste.